Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are continuing the Disney series of videos and layouts, and we're doing something a little bit more simplified today. I'm going to make a layered border that's going to go across both pages of this two-page layout. And I actually had photos for two different areas of the park that I didn't want to do full two-page layouts with, so I've combined them by using a kind of universal border. So I hope this gives you some good ideas for things that you can do in your albums, and I hope you enjoy watching this. It's going to be fun, and I don't normally do layered borders, so I hope you bear with me. There is a little bit of a revision I have to make at one point in time, but it's going to be fun, and I think you'll like it. It turns out well. So let's check out my workspace. I'm having a hard time talking today. Let's check out my workspace and get started. Alright, so this is my desktop for today. You might recognize this page as the right side of the last video that we did, the one for Inside Out. And so following Inside Out, we just sort of continued, or the emotional whirlwind is what it's called, but it's the ride that they created to go with Inside Out. Anyways, following this, we continued around the edge of the lagoon, and we came across a parade, which Disney is very famous for. And this parade was fun and kind of reminded my husband and I of our growing up years, because we grew up in Southern California amongst a lot of the Hispanic community, and so this was a Feliz Navidad parade with the three amigos. It was Donald Duck, and there's a parrot, and I can't remember all three of the different characters, but and I don't have super great photos of the float to be able to tell what the other one was. That's sad. Anyway, if you remember, of the three amigos, there's a parrot, Donald, and then there was another one, I think another bird, but I can't remember. A macaw? Is it a macaw?
Is that the same as a parrot?
A parrot is usually green or yellow or gray. Anyway, so super fun. We stood and watched for a few minutes, and they had some dancers, some Spanish dancers that were really cool. Anyway, so half of this layout is going to be the pictures from that parade, but I didn't want to do a full two-page layout because I already have quite a few pages in these Disney books. I just wanted one page devoted to that. And then I wanted to go ahead and include some sort of miscellaneous pictures from the remainder of that afternoon, where we went to Monsters Incorporated. So I know that's sort of kind of odd to put together, but what I decided to do is just make a nice Christmas border that would be appropriate for both, and then and so the border will span both pages, and then the photos on each page will be devoted to each of these subjects. So what I did was I pulled out my Joy to the World. And I've got quite a few stickers left from Joy to the World, so those will be fun to use. I had these cute borders that were in the laser border pack that I hadn't used yet, and so I'm going to use those today. I'm also going to use a couple of punches. I have my Pine Bough Border Maker cartridge, so if you have that, that's what we're going to use today to create a little bit of a bow beneath the candles. And then I have this one, which I honestly don't remember what it's called. It has these little star-like flowers that are in kind of a crescent. If you remember what this one is called, maybe you could let us know in the comments. I'm failing, and for some reason I didn't write it on the punch, which means that I got it a while back. So if you remember, let me know, would you? That would be great. It will help everybody out. But this one I'm going to use to kind of create a backdrop for the candles. So let me, excuse me, sorry, I'm still trying to get over my COVID experience. So bear with me. Not coughing as much as I used to be, which is nice, but still on the mend. That's right, still on the mend. So I'm gonna put these papers aside, but just know that I have the one that with all the different little printed cute Christmas things. I have the navy blue that has the argyle on the back. I have the red with the large flowers, and then I have this selection of green, which we'll use with the border maker system. Anyway, these are maybe all going to be used, maybe not. I'm not sure yet, but we've got them available if we need them, right? Gonna just set those aside. First thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and punch 2 of these borders. So I've already punched it once, and I'm gonna feed it through until the blue matches the blue on the wing on this side. I'm gonna go ahead and punch a full 12-inch piece of this particular pattern. And I missed it apparently there. And then what I'm going to do is flip my paper around and do it again, so that I have 2, and then I can trim both of them off, and life will be grand, right? All right. Oh, I'm sorry, I am not seeing that blue very good on this particular pattern. There we go. See, I missed it slightly again. You can tell when you miss it because you end up with a tiny little piece of something in between. All right. So there is that. Then I'm going to do the same thing using this gold paper cardstock. You can hear it. It makes a totally different sound. A much more solid sounding punch when we punch this one, right? Okay. And I'm going to just flip this one around again and do my best to line that up. I'm not sure I did that very well. Hang on. Yeah, I need to scoot it over just a smidge. There. That'll be good. And then I'm going to use my trimmer and trim these off so that we can layer them. Okay. So let's get rid of all these little itty bitty tiny pieces. Do that, and then grab my trimmer. Okay, so we're gonna just cut this one directly in half. So let's get a rough measurement of how wide it is. So it's roughly 2 3/4 inches wide. So that means about 1 3/8 would be the halfway mark. Okay, I think that's about right. And I'm just going to cut that right in half. And then we're going to do something similar with this one. I'm just going to go ahead and make it 1.5 inches. Okay, so 1.5, and then we'll flip this around and cut this at 1.5 too. I think this particular shade of yellow is Daffodil, in case you're wondering. And this was I thought it was a cardstock, but actually, I take that back. I apologize. This is not a cardstock. This must have come from a paper pack because this is a designer on the back. It was in my scrap bag, so I'm sorry about that I can't tell you exactly which one it came from. But basically, you just want a lighter shade of yellow. Not you want a dark gold, and then you want a lighter shade of yellow. So Daffodil would work fine, or any of the other yellows that are just a little bit lighter would also work just fine. All right, now let's see here. I am going to do a little bit of assembly, and then we'll move on and do a little bit less assembly, or a little bit of assembly on the page directly. Excuse me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just use my repositionable adhesive. Since I have holes in this, I don't necessarily want the adhesive to show. And I'm going to just put this about 1/8 of an inch below the piece that's in the back, so that you have a shadow behind it, essentially. And we're going to be able to see a little bit of the black page that this is going to go on through the design. And I have to straighten this out because it's going to bug me. I got it crooked, so let me just try it again. So basically you are putting that center bump about 1/8 of an inch down. Okay, just like that. And when you put your adhesive on here, you don't want it right along the straight edge, because if you put it right along the straight edge, then it will not adhere, because there's not enough paper on the yellow piece, on the gold piece. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and adhere these guys, and hopefully that's going to work. I'm actually going to need to put some adhesive across the top of the candles because there is not enough of the yellow. All right. So let's try this again, and I'm going to cut this lighter yellow piece longer. It needs to be longer so that we have a background for the candles, and I didn't realize that, so I'll just save those to use them on something else some other time. And let me get another piece of yellow to punch so that we can make this look nicer. So, what color yellow do we want to use? I think I'm going to go with honey mustard. I know I was saying daffodil before, but I think I like honey mustard better. So bear with me a second while I pull one out of the package. There we go. And we'll just get these punched really quick. Sorry about that. All right, so let's trim these to, let's go to 2.5 inches. I think that ought to be plenty. So 2.5 inches. That's the highest arch is at the 2.5 inch mark. Okay. Now I'm going to do this a little bit differently, and I'm going to put my adhesive on the gold side. Just like that. Same thing here. That one is not giving me the same depth, which is strange, but maybe I punched it a little bit off. All right, that'll work. Okay, now we're going to take our candles, and we're going to place our candles so that that center candle is pointing right up into the middle of that center spray. Okay, just like that. So just like that. All right, now what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut a couple more pieces. I want a piece of red that's going to go underneath this. So basically I need a piece of red that's about 5/8 of an inch. And I probably should have put that on first, but because I'm new to this, because I don't really, if you've watched my channel, then you probably have noticed I really don't do a lot of just borders. So, so bear with me, okay? Because we are going to be doing some assembly and disassembly as we work our way through these. So we're gonna, I just cut 2 at 5/8 of an inch by 12. That's what these are. And then we're going to use our border maker and punch 2 rows of the pine boughs from the green paper. It's also part of Joy to the World. one. I'm going to do one more. This one is getting caught. I think I was able to recover that. All right. Okay, now what we'll do is get some adhesive on the back of this guy. And I'm going to lift up okay, we're just going to leave that guy there for right now. I'm going to just lift up the bottom with my all-purpose tool. And then I just want to, hopefully I can just slide this underneath to the point where I can make those corners match. There we go, just like that. And then we will carefully put some repositionable adhesive on this. As you know, if you've used this one before, if you apply too much pressure, or it's not your, if your adhesive isn't rolling well, you could tear the designer paper. So just be aware of that, especially with this particular punch. It's got that delicate stem in the middle and it will tear if you're not careful. All right, so there's our cute little border, multi-layered border. We're going to do the same thing to this guy. So I'm just going to make sure he's not attached there on the edge. And I'll get this one slid up underneath there. And meeting on the edge and at the corner. Same thing on this side. Perfect. Okay. And basically the stem on this is going right below the wood portion of the tray that the candles sit on. You can see that. Actually, I just stuck that on there crooked. Goodness, I'm either in too big of a hurry today or my eyes are just not focusing correctly or something, because it was in the right place and then it wasn't in the right place, you know. All right, that's much better. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to trim some of these photos up and mat them so that we can add them to our layout. Okay, so here's our border that's going to go across the top. I'm going to grab my trimmer and we're going to trim up some of these photos here real quick. Mostly because, see this purple pole? I don't really want that purple pole in my photos. So I'm just going to trim it out. We're going to make these photos 5 by 4 or 4 by 5, 5 by 4. And that way I don't have, well, if I make this one 5 by 4, I still have purple on the side, but not as much of it, I suppose. This one I'm going to leave the regular size because I love all the palm trees. I think it adds a lot to the festivities of the photo. Same thing with this one. Although we might be able to trim it a little bit, but I don't know. I kind of like the Navidad that's still in the picture. And here's a picture of the dancers. Super fun. I'm going to just trim out some of the people because I don't really need all those people to be in my scrapbook. So we're not going to trim out all of them, just a couple. Make that a 5 by 4 as well. And we'll see how I can manage to get all of those on one page. We'll see if that works. If it doesn't, then I may be trimming some more. All right, so here is Monsters Incorporated. And I'm just gonna trim about a 1/2 inch off the top of this because it's mostly just tree. We still have the tree, but we have less of the tree. And this one, this was a funny little eating place at Disney, California. I just thought it was funny. And I don't remember taking this picture. I think one of my kids did. Just kind of goofy. Here we have another cute little eatery, and Heidi's in this picture, so we're gonna, you can't see her super well because she's facing the other way, but I don't have a whole lot of pictures of her, so we're gonna go ahead and use that. And this was like a screenshot of the weight for this particular ride, but I think we used the Genie Pass. If you're not familiar with what the Genie Pass is, I don't know if they even have it anymore because so many people didn't really like it. So they may have gotten rid of it. But it was sort of like a fast pass, but you had to pay for it, pay for the privilege of using it. And it didn't really help all that much. It was our experience that really it only enabled you to use it on about 4 rides a day, and and that really wasn't tremendously helpful. But anyways, all right, so, and this was the, the funny menu for Harryhausen's. And if you're familiar with Monsters Incorporated, you know that this is where Googly Bear, Mike Wazowski, takes his girlfriend to dinner, I think, at this particular restaurant. So just some fun little items on the menu there that I thought would be fun to include. Okay, so now what I need is this paper so we can cut some mats for these photos. Now, the thing about this is I love this blue paper and I love matting my photos onto a dark paper, but because we're using black pages for this, it feels like we probably shouldn't mat them on the blue because you won't see them very well. Let me show you what I mean. Can you see the difference? You almost can't even tell because the blue is so dark. So this is my dilemma. Do I mat the photos in the blue paper on the black page? Or do I mat the photos on more festive white paper, where some of the photo may not be as easily seen? Or do I double mat them by matting them first on the dark and then on the lighter? Seems like a lot of trouble to go to for some snapshots, because these aren't special photos, they're just, you know, a few fun ones. Maybe the blue is just enough on the black to set them apart a little bit. Do some on red. That would be super cool. So maybe we'll do a few. We'll just mat a few of them and we'll use the red. And maybe I'll look and see if I have some more of this red. Excuse me. Okay, so I need a 4 1/4 piece. 4 1/4. So that I can mat a couple of those. Let me see if I have any more of this one. Give me 1 second. All right, so I don't have any more of the red, but I do have more of the green that I used for the boughs up there. So I think what we'll do is we'll do a couple red on one side and a couple green on the other. And or a couple, you know, a couple of each color on each side is what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying it very well, but that's what I'm trying to say. Let me, let's see. That one should be on the red. Could do another one of there's no way for me to get 3 unless I trim these tall ones or trim one of those down. I'm going to do that one. That one is 6, so I need, okay, I'm not going to cut that one. I'm going to do those two on that paper. I'm going to cut another strip that is 4 1/4. So that one should fit on there, 4 1/4. This one should fit on here, 4 1/4. So that one will work for those. And those. Okay, these I'm going to mount first and cut after. All right, so I'm just going to set this over here, and I'm going to go ahead and mount these on and then trim them. I'm not doing a huge bit of mat, just about 1/8 of an inch on each side, roughly. So not a ton, just enough to give it some color and differentiate it from the black of the background. Another one underneath here, a couple actually. This one's going to be too much, so that one I don't know if it'll get this one's going to get trimmed. How much do I need to trim it? Let's see. That's still too much. Better. All right. Okay. Some things going on upstairs. Sorry, guys. My children are not noticing that my light is on, saying that I'm recording. They're funny. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to just trim these up so that they are good to go and ready to go onto the pages. Those are going on the right-hand side. This one is going on the left-hand side. All right, just a couple more, and we are going to be good to go. All right. Give me just a second here to tidy up my workspace a bit. And we will get this assembled. Okay. Now, I need the left-hand page. There it is. So those are going there. These are going here. This is going to be interesting to see if I can get these to all fit. How many of you think I can make it? Okay. Gonna be interesting. All right, so I'm just gonna put this right, maybe about 1/8 of an inch from the top of the page. So it's not right at the edge, but it's close. Okay, I love the way that pops right off the page with the black background. Really, really nice. All right, and just for kicks, I'm going to line up my pages here. Make sure that my border is lining up in the same place. There we go. Okay, now let's see where we can lay these out so that they make some kind of sense. And you know, we don't need every single one of these, but sometimes it's fun to have a slightly different vantage point. And I'd rather have this one with my husband in the picture than some of the others. So we'll do this. Feliz Navidad. We'll tuck. I like the palm trees, but we'll tuck that one underneath. Maybe raise that one up just a little. We can kind of make it look scrapbooky, right? If things are not squared up exactly, it's okay. I think this one is not going to fit. Typically, I find that 4x6 photos, even if they're just slightly cut down, is generally all I can fit on a page and feel comfortable. But if I trim them, sometimes I can fit more. So, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so just some fun odds and ends. I'll put that up there. We'll put these guys kind of down here at the bottom. Put Heidi's photo over top because I don't want to lose her at the bottom of that. And this one that shows Monsters Incorporated will kind of just squeeze in. How's that? Now, if we do it like this, is there places where we could add some embellishments? Maybe I could put one down here, maybe over here, and do some journaling right here in the middle. That might be the way that shakes out. If we scoot him over, it gives the illusion of a little bit more space there in the center. I don't know if we need that illusion or not. Maybe just leave it like that. Excuse me. All right, so what would we use? Do I have a Feliz Navidad on here? Don't really see one. Well, that is a bummer. That is a bummer. Let me grab some foam squares and we'll figure this out. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and adhere these while I think about this, okay? I think I'm going to use, actually, not the stickers, but these cute little ornaments that are white. I think they will look lovely on here. And I'm not going to worry about popping them up, although I certainly probably could pop them up. But right now I'm just going to let them be. And I'm not going to worry too much about needing space for journaling either, because these photos are fairly self-explanatory. I'll sneak in a little bit of journaling here and a little bit of journaling here, and that will be plenty, I think. So we also have a couple more of these white and gold embellishments. So could add just a couple here and there. Maybe the flower with the angel. I'm gonna put that down here. These two. I didn't get my adhesive in the right place. Hang on 1 second. Okay. I think we'll just do kind of like so. And maybe just stick them right here. Or we could put them right here. We've got lower, middle. Really need them kind of right here, right by Heidi. Maybe a little bit lower. We'll put them right there. That'll work. All right. So much for foam squares. Got those out and didn't even use them. But I think I like the way this turned out anyway. One thing that I also would do on this page is add some dots. Let me find, oh, come on now. My my things are just a little bit too tightly in there. So I'm just gonna find my silver pen. Here it is. And though this is a dot tip pen, sometimes I have issues with my dots. I'm not super great with my dots. I lean too heavily and things like that. With these ornaments, we want them to be hanging from something, right? So I'm just going to draw a simple line up here to the garland. I'm going to put little loops and just make kind of some cute hangers, right? They need to be hanging from something. So we're just going to make some cute little bows. Like that. And then I'm just going to use my writing pen tip for my pen and add some extra little dots near my embellishments. Just to give it a little bit of something extra. When I add dots, I try to just put them kind of in odd little nooks and crannies. Anyway, just a quick little aside. I hope that you've enjoyed spending this time with me today, and I hope that this will be useful for you, and that maybe you can create a border like this in your own albums or something along its lines. Thanks so much for joining me today, and until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Have a great day.